Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan. Thanks for joining me here today, guys. So for today's video, what I have planned is, I was trying to think of a video for this week actually, and I couldn't really, think of one. I'm running out of ideas. And I'm just getting started here, but there we go. So anywho, I was sitting there thinking, going through ideas in my head, and in a couple of weeks here, I will be doing my cousin's prom makeup. So I figured, why not go ahead and do a little prom makeup tutorial. It's prom season, and if proms are happening, which I think some are, some aren't, so hopefully for most of you seniors and even juniors in high school, hopefully your proms are still a go for this year. But yeah, I wanted to kind of go through a little prom makeup tutorial that you could use for prom. So with that being said, let's jump right on in. Oh, before we jump in, remember to subscribe to my channel before you leave. Hit that bell notification so that you're notified every time I upload. That's every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump right on in now. Okay, first things first is eyes. I want to do eyes first today because, oh, by the way, guys, hair. Can we talk about that for just a minute? My hair is, look at this. What is this? What is this? I don't know, but it sticks out because it's humid, it's muggy, my hair's frizzy. I apologize, it's probably so frizzy right now. So let's just ignore my hair. Let's ignore it and pretend it's not happening. Pretend that my hair is beautiful. It's not frizzy. We're looking good. I want to do the eyes first today because we might be dipping into some glitter, some shimmers. I don't know. I haven't really figured out exactly what look I want to. I have an idea of a look I want to do, but I don't know exactly like what shades and shadows I'm going to use yet. So that's just that. But what my idea here is, something that's like glitz and glam, but not a lot, like a natural glitz glam type of thing, but a little bit more than what you would do every day. That's kind of where I'm leaning towards. So I think I'm going to use my trusty Nudie 2 palette. It just has the perfect tones, the perfect shades, perfect shimmers in here for a beautiful prom glitz and glam look. So that's what I wanted to go in and use here today. First off, we will start with the eyebrows. So again, I'm using my NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen. And first we'll brush through the brows. Always like to do that first when doing the brows. The shade I have is taupe. For this, I always like to give it a little shake and even run it across my hand a couple of times to get her going. For this, when I'm doing my eyebrows, I just like to, again, I'm gonna do this real quick. I'll do one eye first and then do the other eye off camera. I start kind of on the outer edge here, confident strokes, and just fill her in, following my natural brow shape, just filling in those sparse areas. And you might actually, because prom and pictures, you might want to go in a little bit heavier with whatever brow product you're using, because you want it to translate on pictures and everything. But we still want to keep it looking not blocky, not super drawn on. Okay, so there's one brow. I'm gonna go ahead and do my other brow off camera. I'll be right back. All right, and we are back. The brows are snatched. Snatched as mine can be when they're two totally different shapes, if you know what I mean. You know how they say sisters, not twins? Well, mine are cousins, distant cousins. So that's that. And it just is what it is sometimes, you know? Just is what it is when you have distant cousins for eyebrows. So eyebrows are on, and moving on to the next part. If you have an eyelid primer, this is your time to use it. I don't use eyelid primer or eyeshadow primer. I just go in with my concealer, and I'm actually going to use my my matte e.l.f. camo concealer. It's the original one. It just has a matte finish versus the one I like to use under my under eyes. Is a hydrating camo. So I'm gonna use the matte one just because I don't want like dewiness on my eyes. I want more, you know, I just want it to be nice and matte, just a good base for my eyeshadow to go down onto. So we're just gonna go ahead and dot a little bit onto each eyelid. And I just use my finger here to blend it out. That is fine. You can also use a brush. All right, and then once you have that, your primer down or your concealer, this is a good time to go ahead in with a little bit of powder and set with some powder. So I'm just gonna grab my powder brush and I'm just gonna set the concealer on my eyes with a little powder. And these steps, like little steps when you're doing makeup for events and whatnot, taking the time to do those little steps in between that you typically want to do every day or every time you do your makeup will make a big difference in how your makeup will wear and last through the day. And we want the makeup to be lasting for the whole entire evening here. So taking those little extra steps will help that makeup last, you know? You know what I mean? All right, so now that we have that down, let's go ahead and move into the eyeshadow. So again, I'm going into my Nudie 2 number 2 palette from Laura Lee Los Angeles. Again, you guys have seen me use this palette before. It's nothing new, but I think it's just such a pretty palette for just like a nice glitzy glam look for prom. And I'm just gonna go ahead and take a fluffy blender brush. We're gonna go ahead into our transition shade here. So let's go ahead and go into the shade Bum, which is this peachy orange shade, and get that on the tip of our blender brush. Load her on up, and then from there, we're gonna go ahead and start applying the transition shade down like we normally would. Blend it out. Again, with this shade, it doesn't matter if it gets down too low on the eye, that's fine. A little bit more. Build that color up until it's a good intensity that you want. And feather it out. I like to really make sure we get that nice angular look on the side of the outer corner of the eye here. Really build that up to give it more of that dramatic effect. And then same thing on the other eye. And once we have the transition shade where we want it to be, next is to go into that the next shade. So I'm gonna grab a smaller blender here. I'm gonna use my L18 brush. Rude computer, free up. Give me 1 second. I am in the process of updating Warzone. And I need to free up space. No. I'm back. And are we going to colors back? Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right. So dipping back into my Nudie number 2 palette, I'm gonna go ahead into Low Cut. Low Cut is an interesting shade to me because it's like a brown. It's kind of like a brown mauve-y tone to it. It's really pretty. All right, so thanks for that. Thank you. Love that. I love you too. Love that. All right, we're going back into it here, y'all. All right, so going into the shade Low Cut, I'm gonna start applying that just under my transition shade, and I'm gonna start by packing that on and blending it out. Again, I'm keeping that pretty close to the transition shade, but not going quite as high. And I'm gonna start also building that in the outer corner of my eye. And just building up that definition, building up that shade to the intensity that we want. I'm gonna add a little bit more in that outer corner. And again, we're gonna fling her on out. Make sure we create that nice dramatic effect on the outer corner of the eye. Same thing on the other side, guys. Shocker, right? All right, so again, once we kind of have that down, I'm gonna go ahead and take the same brush that I used for a transition shade. No product added back on here. We're just blending those two shadows together. And I'm thinking that looks good. I'm gonna bring this shade in a little bit more here. But the next part that I wanna do here is I definitely wanna use this Risque color, which is a much deeper, like it's a purple. It's a deep purple, but it's really super pretty. And I'm just gonna go ahead and use my L19 brush and going in here with this deep plum purple shade Risque on the tip of the brush. We're gonna really get the extra off. And then this is what we're gonna use in that outer corner. And I'm gonna just start by packing it down. Packing it down. And then blending it out. Do you like my singing? Pack her down, blend her out. Now we're really working on that dramatic definition on the outer corner of the eye. See the difference? It just gives you a lot more of that glam look. Now, when I do my cousin's makeup, hers is gonna be pretty natural, using a lot of neutrals, really pretty. The idea is to use like a really pretty, like champagne-y kind of shimmer on the lids. So this is a little bit more like glam than what I think I'm gonna do on my cousin Lily. Unless she sees this video and she's like, no, I want that, then we'll do it. But I know she wants more of like, more so of just like a really natural, dewy kind of look is what she's going for, which I think is so pretty. And it will go so pretty with her prom dress that she has too. All right, so again, we've got that deepest shade down on the outer corner. On my right eye, tap off the extra onto the other eye. Okay, now that we have our lid shades down and my deepest shade is down on both eyes, now is the fun part for the glitter. Well, not glitter, but the shimmers. And we have tons of options here. I need a makeup wipe. And I don't know what I want to do. What's new? What is new? I never know. I never know. But I think I know. I think I know where we're gonna go. Wow. Don't you just love my singing and my rhymes and my poems? Fabulous. So I think we might do some like topping, okay? Or some layering. I think we're gonna do some layering. And I think I know what we're gonna do. I'm gonna wipe off the shimmers here. By the way, I did my nails the other day. Shocker, I know. They're already chipped. This is why I never do my nails. But I've been into it lately, so I just want it to work out for me. Is that too much to ask? I just want my nails to look good. It's too much to ask, I suppose. All right, I am taking Skimpy on my ring finger, and Skimpy is this shade, by the way. It's like a, it's right here. It's, Skimpy's like kind of a rosy gold color. You know, it's really pretty. It's not quite bronze. It's got that kind of pink undertone to it. So that's why I'm saying like a rose gold shimmer. So again, I have it on my fingers. I'm just gonna go ahead and spritz my finger with my setting spray here, get that wet. Better payoff, less fallout, all that jazz. And now what I always do is I'm taking it right onto my eyelid here, packing it down and blending it out. And we wanna blend it up to the crease and into the, eventually blender out into the outer corner of the eye. That is pretty. Can you see it? I really like that shade a lot. And then do the same thing on the other side, right? Because we got two eyes. Let's go. And don't worry about any fallout here, guys, just because again, that's why we're doing eyes first. So if you do get a little fallout, that's okay. It is an A-okay. But I am gonna go back into the brush that I used for low cut. I'm gonna add just a little bit back in. And then I will also take the brush that I used for risque, add a little bit back on there because I wanna get a little more definition back that we lost. And nice and easy, like very, very little pressure here. I'm just blending risque into, what was it? Skimpy, the shimmer, and bringing back some of that deeper definition on the outer corner. And then same thing on the other eye, you guessed it. You guessed it. Wow, I'm really loving this look so far. Really loving this shimmer that I went with. But we're not done here. And then taking the brush from the transition shade and blending it again. Nothing's added to this brush, just blending all of those shades together. All right, so like I said, I do want to layer. And I think I'm gonna layer here with Cheeky. These shades here, Cheeky and Nudie, are more like, they're more glittery. So they're not like a shimmer, like a true shimmer in my opinion. They have bigger chunks of glitter in them. So I figured that would be really, really pretty to top over Skimpy and give it more of that pop, more of that glitz that we're looking for. So I did wipe off Skimpy from my ring finger and I will wet my finger a little bit with some setting spray. And this is gonna go right over top. And it's gonna add just that little extra special sparkle. Really pretty. So you can already tell the difference in this eye. My right eye, you can see like it's a little bit more pop to it, a little bit more glitzy looking. That's really, really pretty. So we're gonna leave that there with the eyes. I'm liking where that's at. And next, I do want to go in with a thin line of liner. I'm gonna use my NYX, thin, for me at least. So whatever kind of liner makes you feel beautiful, you do you. If that's a wing liner, go ahead and put that wing liner on now, because we're going to do a thin line for myself just to add a little dimension to the lash line, because we are going to apply some lashes. Let that dry. Now this was a NYX matte black liquid liner, so it should dry down matte. All right, we're gonna go in with a L'Oreal Lash Paradise in black for the mascara, and you know, just do it. Coat those lashes. Coat those lashes. This mascara is great to add lots of volume to the lashes. Nothing on the bottom yet because we have not gotten to the bottom lash line. So just mascara on the top lashes. And then next we'll go ahead and do our falsies. For my lashes, I'm gonna do these Faux Mink Individuals by Ardell. They are luxuriously lightweight and knot free, short, medium, and long. So they look like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and use the long to start. A little bit of glue for it to get nice and tacky. So we'll let it dry for a little bit. Pop it on, right on the outer corner of the eye. That's where our long one's gonna go. And now I'm gonna go in with medium. This will just give you that extra flare, that extra dramatic look, but without being too heavy. The medium's gonna go right next to it. And what I'm doing is like really making that cool, nice little cat eye effect. And then the short. So a long, a medium, and a short will go next to the medium. Let those dry. Let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other eye. All right, lashes are on, and now we'll just pinch the falsies in with my real lashes and make sure they are together. And using those falsies, or just on the outer corner of the eye, just gives you just the right amount of a dramatic effect and gives you a little bit more definition to give you that nice elongated look. And falsies, or I keep saying falsies, but individuals are really comfortable to wear, and you can really customize the look that you're going for, which is why I like individuals. And I might actually go in my mascara one more time just to kind of blend them together. Next, this is gonna be a long video, y'all, but really loving how that looks. But see how it's not too much, but it's just enough to give you that dramatic effect, right? I love it. Face is next. We are gonna prime, make sure that you had washed your face, you moisturized, did all of that, and we'll prime. And I'm going to use the e.l.f. Putty Poreless Putty Primer by e.l.f. because I really want to make sure we get a seamless, poreless, smooth base here, which is why I am opting for my Poreless Putty Primer from e.l.f. today. L'Oreal 24-Hour Fresh Wear is the foundation I'm going in with today. I'm using 430. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on one pump on the back of my Laura Lee Beauty sponge. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put a dot everywhere and start blending it out. And I totally forgot a step. So let me stop right there actually, because I totally forgot I wanted to do something, a little something extra. So taking a makeup wipe, I really want to define this outer corner line. And I'm gonna take my finger with the wipe on the tip of my finger, and I'm going to carve out that line, the outer corner there. Really clean that up, make it a little bit more sharp. That way we get even more definition, even more of that dramatic effect. Moving on, putting more foundation on here. Be very careful, obviously, around your shadow and your eyebrows, since we already did that. Making sure that foundation is blended into the hairline. And I'm gonna add a little bit more to go down my neck here to make sure that is blending down, and even behind the ears a little bit, but take it down the neck and diffuse it down the neck so everything looks like it's gonna be one color. Again, taking those extra important steps here, making sure the jawline is blended. It's an easy part to really miss. The ears, and beautiful. Foundation is on, taking it into my e.l.f. Camo Concealer. Again, I'm using the hydrating formula, and I'm gonna dot there, pretty much what I would typically do here, and then there. Again, being really careful around the eyeshadow, and then any other red spot that you might have. I'm even going to take a little bit on my forehead and down my nose to brighten up that spot, and then even my corner of my mouth here to help lift my lips to my mouth, that nice lifted look. Taking the pointy end of my Laura Lee Beauty sponge and blend out the concealer. Be careful around the eyeshadow. Next is you got it, guys, our powder. So I'm gonna take again my favorite, which is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. I'm gonna grab my powder brush. You know what? Let's bake. So I'm just gonna apply powder under the eyes here where I had put my concealer, on the chin, on the forehead, and we're just baking her up. All right, so while that's baking, setting all that beautifulness, I want to go ahead and next with the bronzer. I'm using my L13 brush today, Butter Bronzer. Wanted to use L13 to chisel it out a little bit more here. A little bit more precise than if I took like a bigger, fluffier brush. And I'm just gonna follow the hollows of my cheeks and my cheekbone and really chisel out the cheekbone there for the contour, starting at the tip of my ear. And I'm using a light hand. So because this brush is smaller, it allows me to be more precise and to make sure I'm really able to chisel out my cheekbone. And we don't want to take the bronzer down too far. We want to keep it up higher here. And then from there, the forehead a little bit, temples. Now we're just gonna bronze up the rest of the face. Bring that bronzer into the hairline. Press it in there. So see how we got that nice chiseled cheekbone from the bronzer? And we want to make sure that you're going a little bit more here just because you want the camera pictures to pick up your makeup. Chisel out the chin. And then even run a little bit down the sides of the nose. And now that we have baked, I'm going to take my brush here and I'm going to sweep away powder wherever we were baking. Again, taking those extra steps. This will help to make sure your makeup will last. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm still going to go back into my Photo Focus powder. I'm gonna take that flat edge of my sponge again. And now I'm going to take from the corner of my mouth up, okay? To help further chisel out those cheekbones. And we're gonna let that sit there and bake, and I just got powder all over the place. Hold that for me. Moving on to blush. I'm gonna use my favorites, which is the Milani Baked Powder Brush, oh my gosh, Powder Blush in Luminoso. Put that one, blush brush, more angular here. And I prefer my blush to go and drag back. So that's exactly how I'm gonna apply it from my cheek, apple of my cheek, and back. We're just gonna sweep it. Nice, easy, light hand. Make sure it blends into the bronzer. Don't be shy with blush. Again, blush is going to be the first thing to wear off, so we want it to look good for the pictures and to show up in pictures. So don't be shy with the blush, because by the time they probably get to the venue, your blush will be more subtle. And I love this blush just because it has that little bit of sheen in it. Makes it a little bit more glamorous. Once we like where that's at, I'm going in guys, I'm going into my Glaze palette. Another Los Angeles product that I have been obsessed with since I've got it in the mystery makeup bag. Love. I'm gonna take Diamonds for my highlight. High points of the cheek. Wow. Love it, so pretty. When those lights hit you on that dance floor, you're gonna be a glowing queen. Look at that. Bam. Look at that. It's so pretty. So pretty. Down the nose. If you want an extra dewy look, you can go Cupid's bow. Optional. If you want to look extra dewy. So pretty. But also, you don't see it, but I am putting it on my collarbone. This is a good addition You see? I don't know if you can see, but you can add it to your collarbone for a little extra glow there, especially if you're wearing a strapless dress. Beautiful. All right, let's wipe away this powder. And you guys will see how snatched the cheeks look now. Look at that. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, take those extra steps, y'all. Take those extra steps. I think that leaves us with the face. I mean, gosh, let's finish the eyes, shall we? Going back into the Nudie 2 palette, bum on the transition shade brush that we used. And I'm just gonna start putting this down on the lower lash line. Sorry, I'm not looking into the camera. Don't be afraid to smoke it out. We want it to show up on our pictures. And also with the lashes, guys, you can choose to put the lashes all the way across if you want. Again, that's why I like the individuals, because you can completely customize the look you're going for. But it's not as harsh looking as a strip lash might be. It's more whimsy and wispy is the word I'm looking for, wispy. Again, mimicking what I did on the top lid, I'm doing on the bottom lash line. And now I'm taking another Morphe brush here. It's going to be a little bit thinner because I want it to be closer, that low cut color now, to be closer to the lash line than bum. And just start building that up. Keep it tighter to that lower lash line. And now to go into Risque, I need a thin angled brush. I'm looking for her. Got brushes everywhere. So a thin angled brush here, going into the deep purple shade, Risque, keeping that super close, which is why I'm using this really thin brush and only taking it halfway in and connecting it to the upper lid. Cool, now that we got our lower lash line down, actually I wanna go and take Skimpy, the shimmer we use, Skimpy, spray my brush. And this is another small brush here to then line the other half, the inner half of my eye with the shimmer. Being very careful not to get the shimmer in your eye. And also wet the brush to prevent the fallout. Now it's time for an inner corner highlight and brow bone. And I will take my glaze palette again and want to really make it pop. So we're just going to use diamonds, the same highlight that I used for the face, and highlight the inner corner. And I like to bring it not just at the inner corner, but up a little bit to the bridge of the nose. Really highlight that whole section there. It's a special night, guys. We're really trying to pop, trying to stand out, you know what I mean? And then brow bone. Lower lash line is next. I'm gonna use the Sky High mascara because I can really, how the brush is, I feel like I can really get those lower lashes pretty good with this and without smudging. And eyes are complete. So we're almost there. Almost there, guys. Next would be the lips. I'm gonna use my NYX, whoop, wow, okay. My NYX Slim Lip Pencil in the shade Natural, and line my lips. And fill it in with this shade as well, this lip pencil. I like to fill in with the lip pencil too because I feel like it lasts a lot longer than just a lipstick. But you could also use like a lip stain. You could use a liquid lipstick, which will last for a while. But yeah, it's time to add that. Ooh, what color shall we add? This is Ofra. Wow, I don't know what color it is because it's worn off. Or the CoverGirl Ultimate Outlast Liquid Lipstick. I think we're gonna go with this. And let that dry. And then the Shine 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 Essence Lip Gloss in Clear. And Morphe Setting Spray, Continuous Setting Spray Mist in Sweet Peach. let that kind of dry a little bit. Then I'm gonna take my sponge, press it in, gently. Very gently press that setting spray in. I love the smell of that setting spray. If you like peach, you will like that. And I think, guys, that's a final look. So here we are. I'll zoom you in. What do we think? Here is a glitz glam prom look for you, with a few extra steps than what I am usually doing. Just again, to give it that extra oomph, I guess, to the look, but also to ensure that it will last, wear well, and show up on pictures. All right, so here it is, guys. What do you think? Comment down below. Would you wear this for your prom? What kind of look are you going for your prom this year? Hopefully that it is happening for you. I'm very excited to do my cousin's makeup. So yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. This is it. I am really happy with how it turned out. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave. And yeah, all right guys, thank you for watching. Bye guys.